From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on Newstalk, KZRG.
It's FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, it's Newstalk KZRG, Ted Bojorquez and Steve Scott. And joining us this morning is Ethan Snow, who is running for Jasper County Sheriff. How you doing this morning, Ethan?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. Well, thank you for taking the time to join us today, Ethan.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Well, for those that don't know and aren't familiar with you, Ethan Snow, running for Jasper County Sheriff, give us a little bit about your background.
I served in the Air Force for about 6.5 years. Left there as a staff sergeant, and I was security forces law enforcement there. So that gave me a lot of life experience to be in the Air Force, and I'm currently working as a detective at the Carthage Police Department, and I've had construction business as well, so I have quite a bit of life experience to go around. I just completed a Missouri Police Chiefs Command College a couple of months ago in executive leadership, so I'm looking forward to working at the Sheriff's Office as well.
Nice. It's Ethan Snow here on Newstalk KZRG, running for Jasper County Sheriff. And so, Ethan, what inspired you to run for sheriff?
So really, it's whenever you look at how we're dealing with crime now in Jasper County, and it's not just Jasper County, it's a lot of places, but the pendulum has swung a little too far to the lenient on crime, and I think we need to get back to being proactive and combating crime to prevent and reduce it as best as we can, instead of taking a laid-back approach to that.
Nice. And so if you are elected to Jasper County Sheriff Ethan Snow, what would your top priorities be within the role?
Like I said, we need to bring back proactive police work, and part of that involves bringing inspiration, drive, energy back to the sheriff's office. I think that that's lacking there. Whenever you look at their numbers that they're producing, it's not good to prevent and reduce crime. So my main priorities would be to bring those things back to the sheriff's office, which will increase proactive work, and also to have people accountable for their time. So people are being proactive to help protect people and provide justice to victims once crimes occur.
Yeah, and I feel like that's always such a struggle with law enforcement, is that, the balance between reactive and proactive, right? And it's easy, I don't want to say easy, but the typical setup, of course, somebody calls the sheriff's department because a crime's been committed or whatever, and that's sort of a reactive thing. So when you say proactive policing and proactive work, in your mind, what does that look like? What would you like it to be?
So obviously a lot of crimes revolve around drugs. So if we're out trying to target drugs, so people transporting drugs and using drugs, that is going to reduce other crimes. So when those people are not on the streets all the time, they're not going to be committing burglaries of other people's houses and stealing their property and things like that. So whenever we're combating drugs, we're also combating a lot of the other crimes like motor vehicle theft, which has skyrocketed to where we're really helping people not feel the pain of crime here in Jasper County.
Nice. Ethan Snow here on Newstalk KZRG, running for Jasper County Sheriff. And I'm glad you kind of brought up some of those crimes, because I'm curious, Ethan Snow, the world moves so fast, a lot of things change, and with that, new threats emerge, threats in the county change and alter. What would you say the biggest threat to Jasper County is currently, and if elected to Jasper County Sheriff, how would you tackle it?
I have to go back to drugs again, because that is the biggest problem in destroying people's lives, and I can't put each individual person at fault for that, because one bad decision can put them there. And fentanyl has started, well, it's been around now for a while, and it is only getting worse, and it is here too. It's not just on the border states or in other places. It's here in Jasper County, and there's counterfeit pills with those. So if we can combat that flow into Jasper County, and the main people who are spreading that here in Jasper County and ruining so many people's lives, it's not just the person who's using the drugs, but it's also their family and everybody else who cares about them. So if we can combat that drug problem, we can really help a lot of people, not just the people who are addicted to the drugs, but to their families and loved ones as well.
Yeah. And do you see, and this is just out of my curiosity, do you see a connection with the drug issue and the homelessness issue, or do you view them as two separate, completely separate issues?
So they are linked, but there are some people who choose to just be homeless. So they want that way of life, and that's what they do. But there are a lot of them who are using drugs, so they're committing other crimes, like I said before, like burglary or stealing people's vehicles, stealing people's property to support that habit. So if we're combating that and providing services to them, which we do have a lot of services here in Jasper County, hopefully that can reduce that as we move forward. Yeah,
that is kind of interesting, the idea that the drug thing sort of leads into the much broader set of crimes. We had a coworker here who came in this morning. His central air unit was stolen off of his house. I mean, who's even heard of that?
They'll take anything, even if it is bolted down. They'll take anything to trade it for their next drug fix, and it's really sad. And I wish that we could do more meaningful work to stop that from happening. Sometimes it takes arresting somebody for a drug crime before they realize, okay, I've hit rock bottom. I have to do something different, and they choose to go to rehab and choose to get better. And I've had many people thank me from arrests that I've made, and say, thanks for treating me like a person. Thanks for talking to me. And it seems this is really how you deal with people.
Yeah. It's Ethan Snow here on Newstalk KZRG. He's running for Jasper County Sheriff. Now, Ethan, when it comes to law enforcement, communication with the public is a very, very key aspect, I think. And if you are elected to Jasper County Sheriff, when it comes to communicating with the public, how would you ensure that the public is aware of what is going on over at the Sheriff's Department?
I think transparency in law enforcement is a big deal, because everybody sees like the headlines of what's going on, but they don't really get the whole picture. So keeping people informed on what is happening, how we're doing our jobs, how we're being proactive, how we're doing the best we can to protect them and to prevent and reduce crime, so they're not seeing that on a daily basis anymore. I mean, those are some of the biggest things in working with the community. And I fully believe we should be having citizen boards. And as Jasper County Sheriff, you can have citizen boards from multiple different areas that are really helping you in your targeting decisions on areas you're trying to reduce crime or where there's problems in the entire county. It shouldn't just be outside the cities, but inside the cities as well, since the Jasper County Sheriff is the sheriff of the entire county.
Right, yeah. That makes sense. It's Ethan Snow here on Newstalk KZRG, running for Jasper County Sheriff. And finally, Ethan Snow, when it comes to cross-agency work, we hear a lot of stories about county sheriffs, especially Jasper County Sheriff, working with, say, the JPD or even the Missouri State Highway Patrol. If elected to sheriff, how would you continue that, or how would you work to continue that cross-agency work, and what would you do to encourage even more of it?
Yeah, I think we do really well as agencies in Southwest Missouri, and not just Southwest Missouri, but really the tri-state area of working together. So even yesterday, there was an event in the local area where that happened. A lot of agencies came together to work on a bigger incident, and it worked out really well. It makes it to where we can do our jobs more efficiently and more effectively, and get things done faster, so things aren't getting drug out for families and people involved in it.
Yeah. It's Ethan Snow running for Jasper County Sheriff here on Newstalk KZRG. Ethan, we're pushing up against the clock here, but if you had one final elevator pitch, so to speak, as to why people should vote Ethan Snow for Jasper County Sheriff, what would that elevator pitch be?
Well, the matter of the fact is the Jasper County Sheriff's Office isn't doing the job that they should be doing right now, which is, as I mentioned earlier, the reason that I'm running for sheriff. And just a couple of stats, with a 76% decrease in the crimes they're solving. They're only solving 11% of crimes after they occur. And they've also had a decrease of 50% in their arrests over the last 5 years. So not only are they not arresting people to prevent and reduce crime or after a crime occurs, but they're also not solving the crimes. And that's where I want to bring accountability back to the sheriff's office and the drive, energy, inspiration, and passion to get back to doing that so we can do what's best for our community.
Ethan Snow running for Jasper County Sheriff here on Newstalk KZRG. And Ethan, if people want to learn more about you or your campaign, so to speak, what are your socials? Where do they go?
Yeah, you can go on to Facebook and just search for Ethan Snow for sheriff, and you can also go to my website, which is ethansnowforsheriff.com.
Nice. Ethan, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll talk to you again soon, Ethan. That's Ethan Snow here on Newstalk, KZRG.